Good morning. Good morning. It's great to be here with everybody. I see so many familiar faces. I have to say I miss you guys. Being a governor is still the best job in American politics, and you've had a hard job these past couple of years, so thank you all for your service. I especially want to recognize ASA for your incredible work on this very important issue. In fact, when I was governor, ASA and I partnered on this together. Providing computer science education to young people is bipartisan. This has nothing to do with politics. This is about closing the digital divide, closing the opportunity divide, and making sure that every young person has the skills they need to get a job in the now, modern jobs, innovation jobs. So I give you a huge amount of credit, Governor. I'd give you another year if it were up to me. But I think you're right, a few people might not like that. But the statistics that you just shared were extraordinary. And it just shows when the governor focuses on something and prioritizes something, you can have results. So thank you for your leadership. I am continuing the work of closing the digital divide in my new role as Secretary of Commerce. In the bipartisan infrastructure law, there is $65 billion dedicated to delivering broadband, high-speed, affordable broadband to every single American. And the Commerce Department is the department primarily responsible for implementing the broadband initiative. And we look forward to working with every single one of you. There are people in every one of your states who don't have broadband. Particularly those of you, obviously, with rural lands and tribal lands, all of you, as I'm looking around here, this too is bipartisan. So I very much want to work closely with you. The program is designed to provide flexibility for governors to take into account the fact that every state is different. And so we want to work with you. In addition to the money to lay fiber and build the infrastructure, there's also a digital equity initiative, and that is to provide digital literacy training, computers, hardware. So I would just say to you, start thinking about this now. I have another session later this afternoon. I hope you can come. We can get into the details. 50% of people living on tribal lands don't have access to broadband. A third of Americans living in rural communities don't have access to broadband. I come from Rhode Island. There's no rural Rhode Island. It's an urban, it's a city state. So technically, there's fiber everywhere, but for many, it's unaffordable. And so that's where the equity component comes into it. So the mission we have together, and I'd ask you to start thinking now about what it will take in your states to bring high quality, affordable broadband and connect everybody, because the mission at the end of this is every American is covered. I am joined this morning by three unbelievable leaders of American business, each of whom I know and have had the opportunity to get to know in my role as Secretary of Commerce, and each of whom is deeply committed to closing the digital divide, making sure that everybody, boys and girls, people of color, people in low-income communities, has access to broadband, computers, technology, and digital skills. And I couldn't be more honored to have each and every one of you. So I first would like to give you all a chance to introduce yourself. I'm going to start with you, Corie, the CEO of Best Buy.
Good morning, everyone. I am Corie Barry. I am, as Julie said, the CEO of Best Buy, the largest specialty electronics retailer in the US, and it's just a pleasure to be here today. Thank you for having me.
Julie Sweet, CEO of Accenture.
Great. It's great to be here today. Really excited about the topic. We do see the creation of talent in the U.S. as a shared responsibility among governments and the private sector. And so we appreciate being included in this important dialogue. And we have over 60,000 people in the U.S. We hire roughly 10,000 a year. We're a global company, about $50 billion in revenue with over 500,000 people around the world. And so today, we're very acutely aware of the security, the focus on talent across industry and across the globe, and the opportunity we have together to do something very special in the U.S. And I'm really excited to be part of this dialogue.
Thank you. And Beth Ford, CEO of Land O'Lakes.
Well, good morning. First of all, Governor Hutchinson, thank you for your initiative and your leadership in this critical area. And thank you, Secretary Raimondo. As she notes, we have been in dialogue about what this will take. Land O'Lakes is both a Fortune 200 company, but also a farmer-owned cooperative. 100-year anniversary just this past year. We retain farmer ownership. So we touch half the harvested acres in America, 25% of the farmers, but our members and a lot of our business, though we do business across the United States, and we have businesses in South Africa and China and Mexico and Canada and everything, but our businesses touch 10,000 plus rural communities. We started the American Connection Project, which I'm sure we're going to talk about, which is all about awareness, advocacy, action, about making sure broadband accessibility is central to policy, and also that action is taken to close this digital divide. So I'm looking forward to this conversation, and it will be with that kind of view from our chair of what we are seeing and what we have seen in the activities we've been undertaking in rural America.